Hey, everybody. Welcome to another daily business coaching session. I'm Manny Garavito on behalf of MiamiNetworking.com. We do this every single day to keep you guys connected. I go ahead and facilitate the discussions. And today, the topic is how we can turn information into knowledge, the education system that we all go through, the experiences into an expertise, and how to turn knowledge into wisdom, which is the ultimate goal here. Now, why is wisdom so important? Well, in my opinion, wisdom is something that is streamlined in your life. It's not something you have to kind of like go into the filing system or go get a book for reference or ask a friend what they would do. Wisdom is something that operates in the background, and then it is readily available when someone asks you for it. Now, because our minds can carry so much information at once, being wise about something allows you to share your gifts with the world. It's kind of a way where your talents shine through the sorts of communications. And now that we're all connected on the internet, wisdom can be facilitated in a much quicker pace. Quickly, you can put in your talents online and it can cause a chain reaction where everybody can see what you're talking about. And wisdom ultimately makes a difference. So, in my personal experience, when it comes to an education, I realized, or at least I have a theory, that an education, when it's public, just gives you a salary. And I'll tell you a brief story on how I learned this. What's up, Rice Realty? Welcome to the chat. And the way I learned this was because when I started marketing, I took a university for 4 years, five if you count that one semester I skipped. It took me 5 years to get a bachelor's degree in marketing. And when I went online to apply everything I learned, everything was traditional. It was obsolete. I remember I took a course in how to use Twitter, and this was probably back in 2012, 2011. And by the time I got on Twitter, it was like 2014, 2015, and I still didn't know how to use it. Every time I typed something on Twitter, every time I try to put some sort of update or status or anything like that, it wouldn't get me any followers. I didn't know what I was doing on Twitter. And this is just a very granular example. And when I learned through a personal education about marketing, about putting your message out there, about writing headlines, about taking a proper photo or writing a good description or good copywriting, all those skills combined into me getting a more robust way of updating Twitter. Hell, I even learned how to do Twitter through automation. Every time I post a blog, it immediately goes on to Twitter automatically and it drives more traffic to my website. Now, all these things came to fruition when I actually began applying the things I've learned on my own. And, it's a blessing to build your own curriculum. It's a blessing to go on and look at, your series of books that are available, your online courses, or someone that you can look up to that has done it before. Let's say, for example, you read a book about how to grow a Twitter following. There's lots of people that I've read that shows me how to do that. Now, I haven't really fully applied myself, but it's definitely a lot better than how it was back when I first started. And it was streamlined. It wasn't a lot of effort. It wasn't me going out of my way and growth hacking my Twitter account or growth hacking my Facebook fan base. What it really took was just some sort of knowledge that allowed me to apply what I'm learning into real life. And through that, you can grow it effortlessly. And I think that's what wisdom does. It allows you to make an impact effortlessly, and a much larger one too. When you read a book from like some famous philosopher from China, like they always speak like, something that's written like in a fortune cookie or in a slogan or in a quote. Now, this is refined wisdom. It's turning knowledge in a way that when people read it, it's like, this is profound. This is a great written quote. This is something that can live on forever. And those things turn into memes. You've ever seen those inspirational images on business pages that put like a quote, Zig Ziglar, Tony Robbins, Gary Vaynerchuk, all these people that have these slogans, you put them on a photo and they get traction online because people are resonating with it. People can see the impact of those combinations of words. It activates something in them. And wisdom is what causes that ultimately. Now, how do you turn knowledge into wisdom? Well, today on my runner's high, all right, I was running today and it just came to me, an education, a private education, a personal one that you've developed for yourself, allows you to turn that information into knowledge. Okay. And to turn that knowledge into an expertise, you actually have to apply it, right? So you get that experience. You're like, oh, okay, I'm getting the gist of it. I'm getting the flow of it. I understand it now. And to then turn expertise into wisdom, you then have to teach it. Okay. One of the biggest misnomers, well, I wouldn't say misnomers, but one of the biggest errors that I've ever heard in a quote is those that can't teach. That is probably one of the worst. You know, now that I really think about it, I can't believe somebody wrote that. Those that can't do, teach. It doesn't make any sense. How can you teach something that you can't do? I think the new generation of teachers are going to be ones that did. So if you really want to turn knowledge into high-end wisdom, you teach it to people, because knowledge brings in information. You're like, okay, you start accumulating information, you turn it into knowledge. But when you actually go out and you try to teach it to somebody, you start taking away the things that you know you don't need in order for that next generation that's receiving the knowledge to refine it in a more useful way, in a more practical way, so that they can get experience from it, rather than just some bombardment of information. And when you go online, you know that that bombardment is happening, and it's only going to get worse. So we need a lot more people with wisdom nowadays. And as a matter of fact, I think wisdom is slowly becoming a rare commodity on the internet. Not too many people are coming up with, you know, wisdom, quotes on wisdom, or curating it, or YouTube videos that have something that provide wisdom so that you can live a better life personally, and maybe even in your business. Wisdom can be applied to just about any aspect of life: friendship, love, your personal life, business, spirituality, emotion, all that stuff. People learn one way or another by wisdom, because wisdom is like quick knowledge. It shoots from one person to the other immediately. Wisdom is simplicity. Wisdom is sophistication. Wisdom is all these things that allows a piece of information to resonate with someone easily and not complicated. Great example of this, well, E equals MC squared. You know, I was recently told that Albert Einstein would go on a school or a class about imagination, and they taught him to use imagination and to use it in a creative way to make the difficult simple. And through, you know, lots of hard work, I don't know how long it took for him to come up with E equals MC squared, but it took a lot of work, like the drawing board, getting equations and trial and error, and just, you know, racking his brain to come up with what energy, you know, what the computation of energy is. And then he simplified it, E equals MC squared. It took him a while, but he got it. And now everybody can apply E equals MC squared whenever they're studying physics. And it allowed something as complex as physics to be a lot more understood through this equation, which was sheer knowledge on Albert Einstein's part. Okay, everybody, that is my talk for today for the daily online business coaching session. If you guys need any sort of help in applying your ideas online, or showing it with potential customers, or packaging it up, if you need a website, if you need social media, if you need somebody to look at your copy and refine it in a way that resonates with your customers, send me an email, manny@miaminetworking.com, or visit miaminetworking.com and bring a friend, because really soon we're going to be embarking on our next virtual networking event. So stay tuned. I'll see you then. Have a great day. Bye.